Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Y'all, it has officially been 3 years since I laid down on that table and made the best decision of my life in the form of getting weight loss surgery. Y'all, I had the gastric sleeve weight loss surgery procedure on July 13th, 2020. 2020, yeah. I cannot believe it has been that long. And in this video, I'm pretty much going to be answering some questions. For those that are new to my channel, hi, my name is Faye. I talk about some of everything. I talk about clothes, I talk about hair, I talk about vlogging, but I also do document my health and wellness journey. Now, I know everything isn't for everyone, so if you go to my YouTube homepage, everything is separated in playlists, and I do have a playlist dedicated specifically to my weight loss journey. So you can see from the day I announced it all the way up until now, everything that I've had to say about that. I'll give you some of a summary in this video, but to see more detail, especially if I forget something, look at that playlist and you'll find all that information. I know that's how I was when I was thinking about my journey. I just want to see everybody's story and see what everybody's experience was so I can kind of know what to expect. So if that's you, check out the playlist. So anyway, I am really excited to answer these questions. Basically, in this video, I'm going to give you like a pretty much a summary of my journey and then answer the questions that were submitted to me on Instagram. I gave my Instagram stories family the opportunity to ask me whatever they wanted to, and that's what I'll be doing in this video, is just pretty much answering the questions. So if you're looking for that information, if you just want to be nosy too, keep on watching and we'll talk about all things pretty much my business in this video. Oh, and let me stop playing, because y'all know we talking about health and wellness, people take that real serious, child, you know, pull on together. All right, so again, my name is Faye and I did have the gastric sleeve procedure on July 13th, 2020. I live in St. Louis, Missouri. Although this is not a paid sponsorship, I will give my surgeon a shout out. I went to Dr. Chinnappan at Arch Bariatrics. He knows all about my YouTube channel too, so he knows I give him a shout out. That's my guy. Why I did it, number one, I definitely wanted to lose weight. I mean, duh. Number two, I was having issues with PCOS. If you don't know what that is, it's polycystic ovarian syndrome. My menstrual cycle was irregular, and it was associated with PCOS, which meant conceiving was a little harder. And so while I was considering weight loss surgery specifically for weight loss, when Dr. Chinnappan told me there was a high chance that me having weight loss surgery would enable me to have a baby, I was like, boom, sign me up. And for those that don't know, he was right. I have a beautiful 17-month-old son, so yeah, it worked. As far as my procedure, I did not have any complications. I was probably in the room about a good 45 minutes. It was not a really slow process at all. Most of the time was prep, but the actual procedure really did not take long. When I got out of the actual OR into recovery, I remember I was really thirsty, but they wouldn't let me drink anything. The nurse was kind enough to give me a really small ice cube, but that's all I could have until Dr. Chinnappan said okay. I was really thirsty. My lips were very dry, and I felt really gassy. I did not like the way that felt. Now, I ain't telling you to do it, but I made sure I had some gas things on hand to help me, because I was prepared for that. But definitely I was gassy, and that was the most uncomfortable part. Now, as far as pain goes, because sometimes people ask about that, I can't really help you with pain, only because the hospital that I had it done at, during the operation, they put a pain pump on me called an on-cue pain pump. It's basically like a circle, and it's filled with pain medicine, and it was injected into my body. So there was constantly pain medicine like going into my body from the Monday that I had the procedure until Thursday when the ball was empty. And once I was able to take the wire out that the ball was connected to, I felt nothing at all. The only pain that I felt, and it really wasn't pain, it was more so discomfort, was the incision. When I would stand up and sit down, you know, that kind of engages your abs, and because you're cut through the abs, that was irritating. So I did find the need to sleep upright on the couch for maybe about a week or two. But other than that, I did not feel any physical pain. The most painful thing was the gas that comes from them having to blow you up from the laparoscopic surgery. Some things that I remember that I experienced after. Once I did go to the soft food stage, I was cool, but the thing that bothered me most was eating chicken. I don't know what it was about digesting chicken after surgery. It was really hard. So no lie, my diet was expensive. The one thing that I could eat real good once I was able to was crab legs. Honey, I was getting crab legs all the time. Like it was a lot, because it was one of the easiest things to digest. Seafood was good, but chicken was really hard. Another thing thing that I dealt with was when I would first wake up in the morning, sometimes I would have acid reflux. I think some of it may have been because of dehydration, I don't know, but I would just feel nauseous and not, you know, we talk about health and wellness, y'all got to be ready. Sometimes it would be like acid coming up out my stomach, and I would just have to, when I woke up in the morning, I would have to lay still until I saw if I had to vomit or not. Like that's just the reality of it. Another thing that I dealt with was dehydration a lot. Eventually I did start getting in-home IV services just because it was a lot going on. So the things that helped me was coconut water and Gatorade Zero. It really helped me to not be as dehydrated in between my IV visits. I would have a nurse come to my home and she helped out a lot. Like seriously, I don't know what I would have done without those IVs because dehydration was horrible. Another thing that I experienced was my emotions was all over the place. I was not prepared for just how much of a hormonal shift would be associated with such rapid weight loss. Sometimes I was irritable, sometimes I was sad, just like out of nowhere I would just be feeling some type of way. It didn't last long, but that is something that I did notice. Another question that I get a lot is hair loss. Did I experience hair loss? I did not. I ended up having a little bit of thinning in my crown, but the only reason I even found out about it was because I had my stylist do my hair, and she, before she does anything to your hair, she checks your scalp and fully analyzes it. And so she was able to point out a spot in my crown that thinned out a little bit. But as far as hair loss, I did not have that. And I attribute it to, number one, I would not go to sleep unless I had 50 grams of protein a day, even though they say not to depend on shakes and protein bars to get your protein. Different time calls for different measures, and I did just that. Quest bars were my friend, honey. So I did that, but then I also had carbs. I know a lot of times dietitians, nutritionists, even your medical team, just period, will kind of encourage you to be on a low carb diet afterwards. But what I found, because I did keto before I decided to do surgery, is too long of being in ketosis can lead to hair loss, and I didn't want that. So I made sure I was getting carbs in, even if I had to drink some juice just to have some sugar in it. Like, that's not the healthiest thing, but I do my hair for a living. Like, at the time, primarily my content was hair focused on YouTube, and while, you know, I do all right, but I ain't rich, I had to work, and so I didn't want to lose my hair. So making sure I got 50 grams of protein, making sure I got 50 grams of carbs really helps me to not lose my hair. Oh, y'all, I done bypassed everything, the stuff that people want to know. At my highest, I was 293 when I would wake up in the morning, take off all my clothes and get on the scale. Listen, if you've been in the struggle, you understand. It's like, no, this shirt don't count. So I take off everything, and I was 293, and then later in the day I would be 295, and then I would stop weighing myself, period, for a period of time, because I felt like I was gaining weight, but mentally I could not handle seeing a 300 on the scale. So is there a possibility I got there? Sure, but do I know? I don't know. So my biggest, I was 293 first thing in the morning, but naked on the scale. And as far as my height goes, I'm 5'4.5". I just tell people I'm 5'5". I knew that I was spiraling because, like, I had been gaining weight for a while. Like, I went through a lot of life changes, and I was the type not to really use it as a crutch, but I was an emotional eater, and I had been going through a lot of really hard things in life, and I had started eating a lot. And then the pandemic hit, and y'all know we was on house arrest. I really started spiraling. I would just be laying down eating all day because I wasn't doing nothing. So I noticed, like, especially around that March, my weight started going up and up and up. I knew something had to give, and that's what made me decide to start looking into weight loss surgery. But yeah, at my biggest, 293, 295-ish, it probably was higher, but I really just don't know. So we talked about my weight, we talked about my why. Let's talk about my now. Now it is 3 years out from surgery. Since then I had a baby, and one thing that I was not prepared for was, I knew about the 6-month honeymoon period after weight loss surgery, which is where weight really starts coming off fast, but then after that it can kind of start tapering down because you're starting to include more foods in your diet, and then the restriction of the surgery does ease up. Like, your stomach is still small, but it's small and restricted when you first have surgery. Well, eventually your stomach starts to relax, and it can eventually, like, start tolerating and holding more foods, and so you can start gaining weight. A lot of people start gaining weight around the 1 year mark. Well, 1 year and 2 days after surgery, I got my positive pregnancy test, and I was able to eat more. And then because I was so focused on staying on a healthy journey before I got pregnant, when I did did get pregnant, I was like, I'm gonna relax. And so I gained half of my weight back that I lost from surgery. At my biggest, I was 293. I got down to around 205, and then I got pregnant. And then when I went to the hospital, I think I was like 240 or something like that. And then because I had a really hard delivery and all the medicines and all the liquids and stuff, I got to 250 in the hospital. And so once I got home after my 6 weeks and all of that, and then I was breastfeeding and stuff like that, I got to 234, and I stayed there for 5 months. I did not lose a pound. And so what I ended up doing from there was like, okay, the surgery gave me the jump start, but the surgery does not work forever. It gives you a jump start, but eventually you have to take the baton and run with it, or you will gain all your weight back. And like I said, I gained weight because I was pregnant. Some of it was pregnancy, some of it was me. So I gained half of it back, and I was like, well, clearly I'm not gonna have surgery to lose this other half of the weight. I need to do something. And that's where I got a trainer who really helps me with focusing on eating and working out. And with him, I have gotten down into like, I think I'm like 190. But yes, my restriction has eased up. I can eat a lot more. Like I can eat a lot of food. Listen to me. The Jimmy Dean makes these breakfast bowls. That's my guilty pleasure. Like they talk, turkey sausage breakfast bowls, like 200 some calories. If I don't meal prep and stuff like that, I will eat that. I can eat that in one sitting, no breaks, and be fine, and then still have something to drink. So when I say I can eat, she eat. But that's the thing that is about surgery. Eventually, that's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to be able to eat more, and you're supposed to be able to have a different lifestyle, but it's up to you to have a renewed mind. And that's what happened with me getting a trainer. He really helps me. I do eat a high protein, moderate carb, low fat diet. I'm eating about 1,500 calories a day. Eventually my macros will change when he tells me to, but basically I am where I am now and continuing to get there because of my trainer. So shout out to Tim, that's the big homie. So with that being said, that has been my journey so far. Was 293, possibly more. Had surgery, got down to 205, got pregnant, got up to 250 something in the hospital. After I delivered, I was 234, and I stayed there from the time I was 6 weeks postpartum until about 5 months when I still started working with my trainer, and now I'm in the 190s. So that is that on my journey. I regret absolutely nothing. The only thing I wish is that I had did it sooner. It was a stigma on it to me because I knew so many people saying it's the easy way out. Even I thought it was because I was ignorant. I didn't know really the truth about the journey. And so I was like, I thought it was the easy way out too. But eventually I was like, you know what? If I can get medical help to give me a fresh start, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I did. I regret nothing. And if you are interested in that, I definitely say look into and research and get a good surgeon and do what you have to do to secure your future. So that's all of my tea. Let's get into the questions that all of y'all asked me. All right, how did you find your perfect surgeon? So honestly, I did what everybody did. I went to Big Daddy Google and I found a surgeon. I found a few of them that were specialists in the field. I didn't want a general surgeon. I wanted somebody who was a specialist in the field. I found 2 of them in St. Louis. And then when I looked at Dr. Chinnappan, he was one of them. I looked at all his accomplishments in the field. Like, he's a really decorated specialist in the field, and I felt most comfortable when I talked to him. So that's how I found it. I Googled it. For those that don't know, I was not able to use insurance for my surgery because I did not have a comorbidity, meaning I didn't have diabetes, I didn't have high blood pressure. The only medical thing I had going on was being obese, but morbidly obese, and so my insurance would not cover it. And so what ended up happening, by the grace of God, I did a YouTube video called I used Jerry curl juice on my natural hair, and that video, the amount of money that I made in AdSense from YouTube, that one video paid for my surgery. So God allowed me to go viral because he knew that I was going to use that money to change my life. I'm so grateful. So anyway, back to the surgeon. I found him on Google. I did my research on him, and that's how I did it. But if you are using if you're using insurance, your insurance might send you to somebody. So just make sure you do your research if you can, because I definitely think his expertise and him leaving me enough stomach so that I can be comfortable and not being overly aggressive in the amount that he took out, I think that has been a huge contributing factor to the fact that I've never had extreme acid reflux. Like, I had a little bit in the beginning, but not like some people to where they have to get a revision. I've never experienced severe acid reflux. It was just for a few days. And then there's some people that are in support groups that I'm in on Facebook, they were saying how difficult it was to swallow just a sip of water because everything was so tight. Dr. Chinnappan didn't do me like that at all. So the surgeon that you do have definitely makes a difference. Next, have you experienced transfer addictions? So like I said, I was an emotional eater, and then after surgery you literally cannot be an emotional eater. You will get sick. And so in the beginning, I did experience an addiction going into shopping. Like I had to talk to my therapist about it because I was like, yo, I'm blowing the bag fast. And so yeah, I did experience that, but I got that under control. Next, tips for exercise without access to a personal trainer. I'll be honest with you, there have been times where I felt like I just needed a mental health break because life was life, and I didn't feel like pushing myself to the level that my personal trainer pushes me. So I ran from him. But what I did do, because I did not want to fall completely off, was I got on TikTok. Now, some people are against that, and I understand, but this is what worked for me. I wanted to have a certain level of success even if I wasn't with my trainer. So I went on TikTok, found things that, like, I would say today is the day I want to work on my legs, and I would find things on TikTok that says, you know, these are great leg exercises, or I say I want to work on my butt today, and then I'll find great glute exercises. My skin on my arms, I'm trying to tighten it. Y'all can kind of even see it, like I got loose skin. I wanted to tighten what I could without surgery, so I look up tricep exercises. So basically, TikTok is your friend, or even YouTube. Pick the body parts that you want to work on that day and find some exercises to do with that. And since I just mentioned loose skin, I do have some on my arms, and a little bit on my stomach and on my thighs. It's not excessive enough to where I'm too self-conscious to wear certain things right now, but if it ever does get there, I'm definitely open to reconstructive surgery. So that's that. Next, best method of eating that's help you post-op. Like I said, I eat 1,500 calories a day. I have high protein, moderate carbs, low fat. That's my diet. Next, did you ever cheat early on and feel that you would sabotage the surgery? Yes. So before surgery, I had to do a liquid diet, and I was cheating some on that. I don't suggest you do it, but I'm just being honest to say I did cheat. And so sometimes I was like, is this a sign that I'm not ready? But I went ahead and pushed through anyway. So yeah, I did mess up, but at the same time, I realized this is just a moment of a mess up. This is not defining of who I'm going to be on a journey. Have my little moment, move on. And that's exactly what I did. And as y'all can see, I've been pretty successful. Next, how do you feel motivated, especially when you hit a stall? Honestly, my trainer pushes me. That keeps me motivated. You all pushing me keeps me motivated. There are sometimes that the scale doesn't move, but what I have found is with my trainer, he doesn't just look at the number on the scale, he does body composition, and I found that even though the scale didn't move, I was building muscle and losing fat. So realistically, you just got to trust the process and know that your body eventually is going to lose the weight. So like, even when I first had surgery, I gained weight in the hospital, and then week 1 and week 2, I didn't lose any weight. I was like, did he do like a placebo effect? Did I even have surgery? Because I was expecting the weight to fall off real fast. It doesn't happen like that. And then I hit a 3-week stall. For a lot of people, the 3-week stall is 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, you starting to change your diet up, eating soft foods more, and you notice your body goes into shock and you're not losing that weight. So it does happen, but you just have to trust the process. And the biggest thing I can tell you is stay off the scale, because the scale will fool you. Next, did you experience dizziness in the weeks after surgery? What did you do to make it subside? Yes. Number 1, I'm severely anemic, and when my iron dropped low, I got dizzy. Number 2, dehydration definitely made me get dizzy. Number 3, I found out that I was having blood pressure issues as I was standing up and sitting down. I still haven't quite mastered this, so I don't have a tip to give you, but I definitely would say for me, what helped is making sure I took my iron and making sure I stayed hydrated. That kind of helped it to not be as bad. Next, why did you decide to have the surgery aside from trying to conceive? Did you have any support? So like I said, I definitely wanted to lose weight. That's what made me even contact him in the first place, and I found out a byproduct of the surgery was being able to conceive. Did I have support? Absolutely. My family and friends, even the ones who were scared for me to have surgery, because a lot of times people hear horror stories. Some people were scared, but they ended up supporting my decision because they saw they wasn't gonna shake me. No way. Like, when I'm the type of person, when my mind made up, you ain't changing. I don't care who you are. It got to be God himself telling me to change, and God didn't tell me I had to change, so I went ahead and do it. And so I definitely had a lot of support. People were cooking for me, people were helping me. I had a lot of support, so I'm grateful for that. Next, was the surgery prep hard to accomplish, losing weight beforehand, liquid diet? So because I did not use insurance, so I did not have the requirements that some people had, as far as you have to lose a certain amount of weight and have this documented history. I was able to bypass that. As far as the liquid diet, that was difficult. Okay, like, I like food. I didn't get to 300 or whatever because I was okay just starving. No, honey, I wanted to eat. So it was definitely difficult, but it was more so mentally difficult than anything else. Face body goals. Thank you, child. I wish I felt that way about myself, but I will say I do like my body now. The next question: what is your waist and hip measurements? I hate that I deleted it off my SD card, but there is a vlog on my YouTube channel, and I know it has the word Ozempic in the title. If you fast forward to the very end of the video, my trainer did my last weigh-in, which was for the month of July, and he does my measuring on the camera, so you will actually be able to see like my weight, how much muscle I've gained, how much fat I lost, as well as my body measurement. So if you don't want to watch the whole vlog, just transfer to the end. You'll literally see him wrapping measuring tape around me to get those measurements. Next, you look great, thank you. PCOS and VSG, was your weight loss slow after surgery? I feel like it was very slow. Like, there were some people in the weight loss group, they was like, I lost 100 and some pounds in a year. I'm like, I only lost 90. Like, and I know you shouldn't compare yourself to other people because they have different weights, that they're starting with different heights and stuff like that, but it's natural to want to compare. And when I look at other people, I feel like I lost slow because of hormonal issues. But I will say, I did a fertility test as a sponsorship. Y'all, that really was a test that I took, and I saw that the way I don't know if it's a LH hormone or whatever it was associated with PCOS, it has balanced out. So while the weight loss was slower than other people, my hormonal healing really made it worth it to me. So yeah, I did feel like I lost slow, but at the same time, it was worth it. Next, what is your biggest tip for preparing for surgery? I'm getting it done in October. First of all, congratulations. Number one, stock up on your vitamins and stuff now. Number two, only tell those that you need to know, because some people, even though they were well-meaning, they tried to scare me straight, and they would tell me all these hard stories about, oh, this person had it and this happened and this one had it and this happened and this complication. You don't need that, because you don't want nobody trying to scare you out of making the right decision for you. So only tell people that need to know. Definitely have a support system, because you will need it for the first few days. It can be uncomfortable, and definitely, as hard as it is, don't weigh yourself. Even though I was weighing myself every day, don't do that. And have a really good support system, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and most importantly, research your doctor like crazy. Next, things you can't eat anymore. I have pretty much been able to eat anything. The only thing that bothers me to this day is raw onions. Like, if I love Mexican food, I can't eat certain sauces when I go to the restaurants when they like make it authentically. There's this place here in St. Louis that make this salad that I love. They put raw onions on it, though I have to order it without the onions, because while it doesn't make me vomit, it makes me very, very uncomfortable. I don't know what it is, but raw onions to this day, it hurts my stomach. Next, did you hurt after eating? Initially, after surgery, if I pushed a little bit too hard, yes. If I remember this one day in particular, I was watching TV while I was eating, so I wasn't really paying attention to what amount of food I was eating, and I ended up overeating. That is the most uncomfortable feeling ever. And so at that point in time, that's when I kind of slowed down on eating in front of the TV, because I was like, I need to monitor myself, because I didn't like the way that felt at all. And so yeah, definitely you can end up in pain after eating, but as far as on a regular basis being in pain, no, that was not my story. Next, how long do you wear a waist trainer? Most of the rest of the questions are about waist trainers. So I'll be honest with you, with me having done this 3 years ago, I just started wearing a waist trainer probably 2 months ago. While I do feel like it has helped with body contouring, I'll be honest, because I don't believe in selling no dream, naturally my body does like that. Okay, so I won't try to say that it's 100% because of a waist trainer. I definitely will say when I wear it, I do tend to wear it throughout the day. I like to work out in it. It does help with back support, but there are times where I will wear it throughout the day. There's times I've worn it for like 6 hours and stuff like that, but I haven't worn it consistently enough to see the effects that other people get. But it has been 2 months. I will wear it for a few hours throughout the day, and when I do wear it, I definitely see the difference in my midsection. But I will also be honest and say, when I go days without wearing it, the differences that I saw disappear. Okay, so it's very, very temporary. I like it temporary, but it's very, 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 very temporary. All right, so that was all of the questions. I have heard from people that they would like to hear more about my journey, so I am going to show you what I eat in a day and things like that. I will show you a full workout with my trainer, and some of the questions that you all have for my what I eat in a day video. If I need him to come in, he will actually answer it for me, because I like to stay in my, listen, I know how to do my hair, I know how to pick out some clothes, but as far as telling you about, you know, do this to tone it, that's not my expertise. So he definitely is willing to do this. So it has been an amazing 3 years. To anybody that my journey has touched, I'm so grateful to have you here. I'll do a better job about sharing more about my life after surgery, because that's the thing that I think that sometimes people forget. Surgery is definitely a jump start, but it is not your permanent fix. You eventually have to lead a life that gives you the results you want, or you're gonna go back to the results you had. And that was my biggest thing. I ain't come this far just to come this far. I ain't spent all this money for it to go to waste. I listen, I'm trying to win. I want to be here for a long time for my baby. I want to feel confident in my own skin. I'm ready to win, and so far, by the grace of God, I feel like I've been winning. So if y'all have any questions, leave them down below. I love y'all, Monkey Dada, and I'm out of here. Bye. I'll see y'all soon with another update. Bye.